Welcome back, everybody. We return with more NECC playoff action. 2 semifinals completed, one more to go. We take it over to Division 4 for the York Spartans Green versus Lord Esports, the number 5 seed BearLight, our first, if you want to call it, underdog story of the day.
No doubt about it. Yeah, I mean, we've seen close matchups in, kind of one-sided affairs from close matchups or should have been close type situations. So you never know what to expect here, even with the records the way that they are. But yes, the number 1 York College Spartans with a 5-1 season coming up against the number 5 Durham College. But the number 5 seed finished their year at 4-2 in matches played. So at the end of the day, they still found a lot of success. They won 4-1 against the Dayton Flyers in round 1, and 4-1 was the result for York College, as well as you see the lineups right below us.
Yeah, for York Spartans Green, that starting 3 is going to be Duke, Soldier Bum, and Skyline. Over the Lord's side, you got Jay, Cressy, and Mixley. Great mix of players, if I do say so myself. I think that Skyline's going to be Freaka in game, so keep an eye out for those player names. But for the most part, you got your starting 6 here right on the page. And yeah, if it's anything like these former semifinals, BearLight, they are ready to go.
No doubt. The one thing, you look for Lords Esports, a.k.a. Durham College, would certainly be a leader. And for me, got to be Cressy, listed on here as a coach, a manager, a captain. If you want somebody to be vocal in your comms and really be able to lead the charge and be able to come up with a game plan that can take out that number 1 seed, you look for the leader. I'm looking for Cressy here in this series.
Getting thoughts of apparently Jack and Dignitas a few years ago. That team went to lands without a coach, and Jack was sort of the in-game leader of that squad. So let's see it, Cressy. Not only the comms, but nearly the goal as well. I really thought they were going to start off with an exclamation point there, BearLight, but we'll just have to wait for more.
It's talking it up and ready to really hype up that moment, and just a little bit shy. So maybe next time for sure we'll keep it on the list here. Jay right back to it for Lords Esports to try and punch in an early one for themselves yet again. But Duke is right back here for York, and the Spartans have been challenged early. It should be a clean carry to try to get past Jay, but he tracked it extremely well. But Soldier Bum right to it too, had a teammate crashing into the box, but Cressy was able to deny.
This may be the 1 and the 5 seed, but we're expecting this even matchup that we've seen so far. Teams went head-to-head. Earlier went all the way to Game 7. BearLight, I don't know if you remember when in the season that did occur, but I mean, we're still expecting York to be the favorites, but maybe not by the wide margin that you might expect.
No, exactly. I talked about match record, and is that ever so important? Maybe not as much, but last time these two teams did face off, it was Week 7, a.k.a. the final week of the regular seasons, and York was able to take that win, but only by 1 game. A 4-3 win in that regular season matchup like we saw. So the Spartans just barely got the best of Lords Esports, and I'm sure we'll see another close one here tonight.
Certainly seems to be the case so far. I've liked the aerial efforts so far from Lords, and Mixley valiantly goes up for that one as well, but it's just a measly touch on the ball. The bouncer from Cressy won't find the net either, and presents a golden opportunity for York as they push the ball downfield. Duke finds their way around 1, nearly collects the 50 on the second, but it's Jay to find space. Pass over to Mixley. Mixley, shot goes a bit nearsighted and is easily taken care of by Soldier.
Duke will have to track this one back. Does a nice job of doing exactly that. Jay will step into the corner. And it caused a little bit of chaos. The only thing it did was a moment of confusion as far as who was going to go for York, but quickly shut that one off. And this one will be high. Duke had some room, did not have the boost in tank. That allowed Jay to step up on the play, but the bump play in front did not get there in time. Mixley able to get up and deny here with a big save as well, as this one will punch out this center, and Duke not able to connect with this one. The York leaves the door open here from Cressy. Shut down immediately, heading for the back wall. That touch, maybe not the best, but Duke is able to come across in support of their teammate, and back out the center we go.
I'm liking the backboard plays for Lords Esports. It's forcing 2 on the defensive York, which is always something you want to see. Put your opposition in an uncomfortable situation. That demolition going to exacerbate that position, as it makes it difficult for York to set their feet with one less player. Cressy off the backboard, hands it off to Jay, and it's delayed. The eventual effort from Jay finds the net.
Finally, somebody able to find that little bit of space. A great job to jump up and at least cause some confusion. Soldier was trying to play the middle ground of where that shot was going to be. Have they connected with more force there? But either way, it just matters how many. The Lords have the lead here with 1:37 left.
So far, so good, and there may be more coming. That was smart from Soldier Bum. If Jay's going to go up for it, let them whack it into the net and farther away from their own goal. Cressy tried to bring it right back, but failing to do so. Soldier Bum gets the angle. It is a steal and score for Soldier.
Here we go again. Close games all night long continues. Soldier, love the fact that they were able to utilize, I'm not sure if it was a boost trail. They got that extremely quickly to swing around that one, find the angle. So impressive work there from York. Able to find the equalizer late. You wanted a quick answer, you got it. But Mixley's right back out for blood. Looking for the back wall. Great job to adjust the car to challenge it, but Duke stood strong with some great positioning. He's still not out of harm's way yet, as Cressy's to it, but looked like Cressy and Mixley couldn't decide who wanted to go with it next. There's been a couple of those moments for Lords where it falls right in between two players and just not able to find the comms in time to keep that same momentum that they had.
There's moments in Rocket League where you really can't go off comms, but I think this one was communicated. Lovely dip from Duke for Freaka's goal.
Yes, it was him up early, finding a perfect pass, and man, I bet Cressy wants that one back for sure. It's hard to track it, especially when you have a passing play of a player that jumps from basically midfield and then able to get that touch. So they try to track it well. They weren't able to, but now back on the kickoff. They had a good look there for a moment. It's denied. Mixley right back to it. Off the corner. Has an opportunity to strong arm a play from that corner, but nothing doing. As no play up into the middle. Jay will punch it forward. Had the chance there for Mixley, but unfortunately for Lords, he wasn't able to connect, but they still punch through. It'll be that leader in Cressy to tie it late in this game one.
It's funny how that shot didn't go from Mixley, but it still put the defense in the position needed to score. The jumping from the boost heavy defender led the boost empty player to just dip it right off and allow for that goal to happen. Tied up 30 seconds, and the kickoff won by Lords. They march closer to the net, but it's Soldier Bump to get the clear and a little help from Jay to cross through to the orange side. 15 seconds, a tip in the air leads Cressy to pick up and leave off. Flip reset goes denied, and Freaka finds Duke, but they're ahead of the play. It's got to go back to Freaka now, who looks for the avenue on the dunk. Hey, try to read this off the backboard. It's Duke's ball instead. And they find the goal in 0 seconds for the win of York.
Oh, you knew you were in trouble when Mixley was trying to get out to that ball. I'm not sure what happened to Jay behind the play, but Cressy and Mixley, again, just out in front trying to challenge. And when you have two members there, an unfortunate double commit. And that will leave it open every time. Will the York Spartans be able to punch through that? As a 5-1 was their record throughout the regular season. So they have been pretty perfect a lot. Look at that balanced scoreboard across both York and Lords. Let's be honest, dude. Goals for everyone, shots for everyone, saves for everyone. This one is exactly what we chalked it up to be.
Yeah, balanced as ever. I feel like you tend to see this with some of the higher divisions of play. Rocket League is a team game. Yes, there are moments where someone has to put the cape on and be the hero, but everybody getting into the fold in this matchup has led those stats to be so even, and has led us to nearly go to overtime, BearLight, but that was not the case with the ball left up and someone ready to score. Really impressed with York's connections throughout that series. Great passing, communicating, and scoring. More of that chemistry is going to lead to success of the York.
Yeah, Lords certainly, you wanted to be able to win that one, maybe take one from York College. Didn't happen in game one, but surely we'll have something to say about in game number 2. As you'll see, Cressy right off there wasn't able to get the double touch. But once again, it left York a little bit awkward there defensively. We saw it work once in game 1. It did not work this time around here. Find a little bit of early pressure, but answered well. Seems to be the case in game 1. It continues that same idea here. And a demo and physicality that we haven't seen much of this series starting to rear its head already here. And will that be a switch maybe needed here for Lords to maybe spark a little something here? As Jay awkwardly get a pinch back, but luckily for Lords, Mixley was ready.
I think the physical plays could certainly help. It helps, especially when a team feels like they're in their rhythm. And oh my, if Freaka gets a good look on that passing play, then that's definitely the case for York. You want to get them out of their rhythm. Those infield passes have just been too clean. But with them mistaking on that one, Lords have a chance to shoot the gap. Jay nearly found the clear there, but it's intercepted, and Cressy back passes over to their teammate of Mixley. Jay leaves that open for York. Duke wants to play it off the wall. Cressy with the pre-jump off the ceiling, able to get out in front, but Duke still finds that forward progression needed to keep the possession alive. Soldier following this as Mixley, a light touch, freak off the backboard, and that's met well by Jay. Great for Lords to have the answer on the backboard when needed.
The 1-2 exactly when you need to get out of the zone. Whenever you feel that pressure, instead of relying on yourself and maybe a little bit of a miscalculation as far as how you find your teammates. But that one will be sneaky. It finds its way to the back of the net. Cressy, that leader you look for. Lords on top.
So the captain needed to show up. BearLight and Cressy did exactly that. What a snipe. Oh, what a ripper. Right in between all the defenders. Nobody could chase that one down. Lords hoping that they're not chased down like they were in the last game. They've got the lead. They got to hold on.
Soldiers a little bit awkward, and Lords had a prime opportunity to actually build on their leads, which we haven't said much of in the last 2 series, we'll be honest. Just Duke will fire one, easily handled. On the back ball, reading that one well was Mixley. Right to Freaka, not a lot of boost, but made a play nonetheless to flick it back, but right into the hands of Lords Esports, and they look to bounce it back out. Freaka. Yet another one pass, a strong arm play to play it into the box. Lots of players. I'm not sure where all the boost is going, to be honest, but listen, they're making plays regardless.
Well, if it continues in Mixley's tank, then it's a good thing for Lords Esports. Mixley just picking up their 5th save of the team's 5 saves. Kind of a silent hero, setting up the team for success on the other side. It's 1, 2, 3. Jay is the recipient of the ball to put the finishing touch on.
Yeah, Jay wasn't about to wait around back there in that position. Cressy and Mixley have been caught up a couple of times, tripping over one another, but able to punch that around the corner and allow Jay to work in that moment. So great decision making to step up when they did and put Lords up 2-0. Here in a rare moment where a team has a 2-goal advantage yet again. Cressy right back out to that physicality as Mixley had to make that save. Cressy already up for it too and looking for Mixley, but instead going to carry it above. Now it'll fall down to the box with a chance to shoot it, but unfortunately Mixley in a spot where they couldn't put any velocity on it.
Wow, they're very close to the counterattack, but kudos to Lords for being set on defense. On transition, can they hold that defense as Duke gets the aerial? The reset taken away. Duke went for it. Could have been fortuitous. We're going to find Soldier. That one too wide. And again, York going for more of the same, but the connection's not found as easily as before.
Right back in. That's Mixley from the ceiling, looking for some support, but punched out in a hurry there from Duke. The follow-up, though, Soldier was looking for that bump instead. I'm not sure you were able to get the angle, so I like that idea. I wasn't able to punch it through. There's Soldier, Mixley around the corner. Able to hold off there, knowing you don't have boost in the tank, looking for somebody else to challenge. Well, Cressy doesn't have much either, so Soldier's going to be able to punch it through again. York, Spartans, and their boost control will pay off.
Okay, Soldier, follow your own shot is the advice often given. in many sports games and in Rocket League as well. You've got your lead blocker. You've got the ball off the corner with no one to contest. Might as well finish the job yourself. York, known for their passing plays, end up with the solo effort to score and cut this lead in half.
That's what you like to see. And now another one. This one's a freebie, actually. Lords will certainly take that all day long. York was just not prepared. Freak was out with the bump, and Duke was the last man back and maybe didn't realize it.
I mean, that is devastating for York. He worked so hard to cut the lead in half, and 150-50 goes wrong. These players know that that can happen, though. They played Rocket League enough to understand that a single inopportune touch can lead to your demise. The lifting is now heavier for York to try to force OT in game 2.
And Soldiers got a good run on this one, trying to work a Musty in there, but was able to connect with it. Cressy leaves it down for a teammate. Great thought, and forced 2 York Spartans out of their position. But only temporarily here as time ticks down on York here at this point in time. They play a little bit of keep away on the Lords Esports side as well, as they look to capture a tie game here in the series, and they've done exactly that. Lords dig deep. They're able to answer York when they cut it close. Lords Esports on the board.
All right. Yeah, great to see that fiery display from York at the end of the game, but Lord said, no. This is our game. A wild defensive stat line as well. For a long time, BearLight, Mixley had the only saves in the game, from 1 all the way to 5. And York just weren't able to bat the ball away. Eventually, Duke comes up with a couple, but you can tell with Mixley on the back line, things are normally safe and secure for Lords Esports.
Lords found the right opportunities to strike, and sometimes your strategy coming in is let's put in as many on target as we can, and they can't defend them all. But I think the timing has been great from Lords, especially in that game, being able to find one another, and really held back in some opportunities where they could have easily taken a shot. I called it out a couple times defensively where they're finding each other very well on passing plays, but as they kind of worked to the offensive side, they kind of didn't show their hands. They kept it close to the chest, and then when they were able to find just a little bit of that vulnerability, which is kind of rare here for York, but it happened once or twice, a couple of freebies, at least one freebie, I saw that for sure. And then you want to make sure that you hit those shots whenever you get the opportunities, and that's what Lords was able to accomplish in game 2.
Great. Lord's going to be try to find more of those rare opportunities where York let them have it, and we'll see if there's some momentum to gather in this tight-knit series. The last time these teams faced off against each other went all the way to Game 7. Maybe the journey will be made again, but it's up to these teams to break from the gridlock. That one almost broke through to the net, but the post had other things to say.
Yeah, and again, Lords not always been perfect. But still, obviously, thankful that you're able to tie the series. There's been
that there's a smoke screen. Duke has no idea what I'm setting up in terms of the shot. I'm going to play it slow and then gather myself to score a ripper. A great finish from Lords Esports for the lead. Oh, it's nearly extended had it not been for Freaka's save.
a chance for York to respond here at this point in time. They haven't had to do it much here in the series. They had a little bit of a comeback effort they're attempting to put together last game, but will it transition here? Great passing play, but an even quicker read there from Mixley to deny. And that'll force York and the Spartans play into their own end and try to play out yet again. Jay was up in a hurry to be able to shut that one down originally. Cressy will put it on target, and unfortunate circumstance there for York. So we're able to bat that one away defensively. It will be a 2-0 lead for Lords.
Yeah, there was an attempt to read this off the sidewall, which is normally a riskier play than needed to go for, especially on the defensive end. And I don't know if that's up to the teammates to kind of make sure the goal line is secure in case it goes wrong, or more so up for York to not go for those kind of plays if they're less frequent to be successful. That mistake leaves that gap that you talked about, BearLight, that is sometimes exposed by York.
Yeah, another mistake from York, and I talked about how, you know, Lord's not necessarily having to put everything on target, but listen, if you're going to find some like that, you might as well, especially, again, right opportunity, opportunistic. You see nobody in net, you might as well just be able to find that little bit of space that you can. Duke, who was very much alive in game number 1, did play a good game number 2 as well to keep them close. We'll see if they can't spark something here for the Spartans. This one will make it out to midfield, but Frico will leave it here for Soldier. He'll play around the wall, trying to get it past Mixley. That one going to be defended, but it lay loose out in center, and finally Duke will get it. A great touch there. Set up Frico, but Mixley was up for the challenge there as that one kind of fell into his hands, and he had to bat it away.
Yeah, Duke showing off that side wall that they were supposed to hit earlier when they conceded that goal. So just a little proof in the pudding that, yeah, it's possible. It can be successful. It just has to happen at the right time. And oh, wow, Soldier Bum still with a chance here. Lightning fast counterattack from York Spartans. Almost take a goal on the scoreboard, but they're still working for it. Light tap there from Duke. Long rotation here from York Spartans. They're going all the way on their side of the field just to get boost, and that relieves the tension for Lords Esports. Even gives us a near freebie again for Lords. But it's going to be hard to take if 2 of your players are off the screen.
I'm going to call him Soldier for a reason, right? It's certainly getting rid of some unwanted waste on the other side. Lords, it was very tough to get around. What a shot from Frico, finds the short side post and able to cut the lead in half here with 1:29 left.
Yeah, this was not what Cressy wanted. Obviously on the backboard to get clearance on this one, but the verticality of the clear was more than was asked for. Kind of dove that ball right back down to the shot taker. So, similar situation to the last game. York able to cut the lead in half. Now, can they refuse Lords of a response?
That one's loose, and Frico took their time as well as Mixley didn't know what to do and make of it. Kind of challenged a little bit earlier too, but now he's left in a 1v1 situation. 2v1, whoa, back and forth passing. Beautiful play from Lords end to end.
Again, Lords able to respond with fervor, and give and go works out perfectly to delicately tease that last defender apart. Saw the collisions as well there from York on their offensive side. They just didn't have the reinforcements to be able to get back on defense in time. 2-goal lead. Pretty good for Lords to take this series score, but it's going to be put to question by Duke's lightning fast shot.
This is turning into a heavyweight battle right now between these two. Not that it wasn't when we started, but when I talk about the offensive side of the ball, this is beautiful. Back and forth passing. They said, you got team plays, we can match that energy. And York Spartans now back within 1. Now will it be an equal game? It will. Frico off the kickoff, set up by Duke, and we're all tied.
This is uncharacteristic from Mixley here. The side flip by accident. There's no way to recover from that. They have been stellar on defense, but we've seen it from both teams. A small mistake can lead to catastrophic results. Just like that. As you mentioned, the game is tied. It could be the lead right back, but Duke has other ideas.
Yeah, dove in a hurry. Now you've got Soldier. He'll pop it up. You saw the mid boost being taken by Duke to get the 100 in the tank necessary to get that one forward. But Frico has got 3 individuals from Lords on this time. Off the back wall, lots of space given up here. Mixley had an opportunity, but just barely denied. Jay tries to follow up too, but that one also answered. Now another shot on, and another big save as it stays out. It was on the goal line, and very awkward here, but 15 seconds left. We remain tied, at least for now.
Just can't believe it. York Spartans holding on, but they need a couple more stops. Mixley with full boost set up with the flick. We'll get another try on it. Beats 1, but no pass off the backboard leads us to an overtime.
I was seeing Mixley there and left it there, trying to get the teammate here. Maybe it's here. Shot taken a little bit wide. Follow up, though. Got to be careful. That's the third man up. Jay still on it, too. Full court press here from Lords Esports and still can't get through this defense. Wow, a very sporadic start to this overtime sequence, and it's still not over. Duke with a great fake slows it down, able to pull in Lords Esports and finally relieve some pressure and maybe put some on of their own. Another shot taken. Back in a game, but we can finish the job too when we need it, and in a situation where it is close like it was, and you still see York really digging deep there. The Spartans able to come alive there in overtime, and once one little bit was opened there as far as the door goes from Lords Esports, York College Spartans were able to fill that gap and put on some pressure that have ultimately led to that overtime winner.
That's right. Yeah, and we mentioned about opening and closing doors, right, and how York are opening those doors earlier on in that game, but left those doors locked tight, shut towards the latter half of the game. If they can continue to clean up on those mistakes and force them instead on the other team, they'll find more success in this series. Also, not to mention, who was it? Duke. My MVP of that last game. An unbelievable save off the corner of the post, made a couple of times at the end of that last game, and then some 2 clutch goals. I'm excited to see what else they got in the series.
No kidding. And fantastic. Get a good look of him here as he's being challenged, but a great job to chop across there from Frika. And played it high, too. It's a part of it as well as his team. Circling around to get boosts. I know Duke was in that play, but when you allow the rest of the team to get reorganized, it always pays off dividends. Lawrence will leave it here, a great passing play. It'll be Mixley again. The flick past one. Frika denies yet again. Has certainly been impactful here in the first 45 seconds, which has ticked away extremely quickly. The corner it'll go. Mixley right back to it, though. This one will go down. Shot taken far side. The leader, Cressy. They'll get the Lords on the board first here.
This is a duo to keep your eye out on if you got your focus on Lords Esports. Mixley has such a creative way of facilitating, always willing to slow down the play, flick the ball as they did earlier, or set up the high pass. Cressy, the striker, 2 of the 3 goals from the last game, and now your first of Game 4.
York has been in this situation a couple of times. They're down in the game. They tend to start slowly, but they tend to answer, and that's what we get here as well. Soldier getting on the board was certainly impactful late in the last game, and well, continuing that as well as he got some help from Duke out in front, just making it difficult there for Lords.
Yeah, they accrued the demolition and the leading bump. Mixley, I mean, what do you even do there? They did hit the brake pads to get out of the way of the bump, but then missed their chance on the ball. They did try to get the score there. Off the kickoff, Jay with the follow will be a light lob. And allows York Spartans to reset here after the kickoff. Very important to find stabilization if you don't win the kickoff, as they have done so. But Cressy wants to intimidate Duke so as to not offer the solo play. I think it's a success as Duke gets almost nowhere. That aerial effort. Long pass here. Duke tries to go vertical, fails with the Fields back flip. Cressy high with a chance, but Frika stops it on a dime and on the hesitation play. One player bumped, the other can't get to the ball quickly enough. And this is not the kind of game you want to press pause and talk it out.
Yeah, no doubt. And Mixley was kind of left with not really much they could do in midfield, just waiting for something to happen, waiting for it to develop. And typically you want to be proactive, but basically nothing there as the game paused for a moment. But you've got Jay and Cressy on it. One just behind Cressy to make it comfortable. So not able to utilize that demo from Jay that was set up with a purpose, because it was just that far off from being able to set yourself up for success and roll off of what was developing in that play.
Oh, Frika, that's a great chance, and it's an unbelievable save. Almost the second one from Cressy, but Soldier would not have it Cressy's way. Slid it through.
Yeah, just finding the inside, and Cressy got a lot of that, by the way, the second time around, as they almost trapped it, essentially, against that far side post, but just wasn't able to get the job done defensively here. And York, well, they wanted their comeback to come a lot quicker than it It did in the last game. Another opportunity. Led by Duke yet again, but this time finished by Frika for the 3-1 lead.
Duke has a wonderful under and over maneuver. They get the flip reset to go under the first defender and try to scoop it past. But the important part there is you follow up with the ball. You get the 50-50. You set up for your teammate who's flying in for the shot. Could it be Duke and Frika again off the kickoff? Another flip reset shot nearly turns into a goal. It is Duke.
Here for the Lords here at this point in time, and they have to have a tremendous comeback and answer. This might be one. It will pinball around, we'll say. The Lords Esports will take it either way.
Well, you know what? I think it was Cressy who accidentally had that couple of touches on the ball, and it ended up in their own net. So, you know, it's only right for it to go the other way. That said, I do love how Mixley is taking a leadership role here. Normally the facilitator, but this time around saying, you know what? I have an opportunity to score. I'm just beelining for the net. So that kind of attitude may lead to more success for Lords.
Jay just above that one. Able to get that touch. Duke will leave it this time. This time for Soldier. Took a shot, but well off the mark. Maybe just trying to challenge the back wall either way. Cressy shot to the far side will easily caught here from Duke. Really just giving up possession so that way they can reorganize as Duke will get another flip reset. So Queen with it, almost got that second one too. Try to push it farther past Mixley, but it was not to be. Soldier leaves it, shot taken far side again. Off the mark here for Lords, could have definitely used that one.
Oh my. Listen, before the game started, I said that I'm excited to see what else Duke has. Really getting fired up, and they have outperformed in this game. I almost need less at this point. Just relax, Duke. It's too much.
Try to get up into the royalty terms here. You know?
Yeah, that's right.
From Duke to King pretty quickly here.
Yeah, that was a good backboard play. It's going to set up things for Frika, who's not able to find the net. It might not be a problem for this team, though. York, once again, exposing very little gaps here. That latest goal from Lords, again, coming off the unstabilized kickoff play. When this team of York is set, they are so tough to get past. It's Duke with a couple of touches. Jay likes the opportunity off the side better. Actually dipping it off to Cressy, who has one in the wing, but ends up leaving the ball entirely. Probably not the air dribble they were aiming for at the get-go. Last chance here for Jay. It's a strong pass to the infield. Mixley, I think, was pushed off the play. Unable to get to it. Frika's final touches will do it here. Game number 4, won by York Spartans Green. They're one away for moving on to this Division III NECC Championships.
Yeah, they've been red hot as of late, and it doesn't ever seem to deter them that they don't have the lead early in these games. You know, a lot of teams struggle playing from behind because of the mental game to some degree, and also just not having enough time to be able to create chances of their own, but that's never been a problem here. As long as we've seen York College, you know, in action, they've always found ways to respond. It also applies itself. They weren't able to make the comeback, but that's the only in game 2. But that's the only game that they've dropped here. They've had to play from behind the next game and the following game that we just saw, and continue to find ways to find wins, and that's what you look for here too. I am interested to see if there might be a timeout coming here from Durham College, especially when you're one game away. You might as well use it. It's use it or lose it, man.
Yeah, we did see a timeout in the last one lead to an instant 2 goals from the other team during the last match. So do they work after all? Who knows? But yes, you've got that timeout to utilize, and most often it is good to use. I do want to use the time, though, to mention now that York Spartans one away from the win, I think our NECC social media lead, NASCast, happy to see that. The manager as well for the York Spartans. So a little bit of a shout out there. I'm sure the whole York team excited to see their squad just one game away from that championship berth.
Yeah, so close to being able to win against a game actually in action right now. A match happening as we speak as Saginaw Valley State currently up against Widener Gold. So a number 2 versus number 3 matchup, which we've seen a couple of times here on this channel, but this time, of course, of the Mid-East Division 4 that we're in currently. So we'll see what happens between those two. We'll keep you up to date and see if there's any updates. Not at this moment. And we'll also see if York can close out here. They've been extremely good when playing from behind, but I feel like they might be even better when they're able to play from a lead. So I think their ultimate goal here is obviously to come out hot. You never really want a slow start, but it hasn't been hurting you at the end of the day for this series. So you know what? Just play your game, York. You got this as long as you can stay consistent.
That's right. 5 minutes on the clock, and they will use every second that is available to them, including this start as Freaka. Just an instant jump to the ball and then a front flip off the ceiling. Don't know about that one. That leaves you completely stranded from the play thereafter. But a midfield boost taken. Thereby Freaka will settle the score and more opportunity. Flip reset, leaving it up for Duke to follow. It's going to be Jay, though, to slowly caress this to the corner and ensure their team is established on defense because it is needed. With that follow-up shot, and Freaka, he's just getting in the mix on anything. I'm not sure if all these touches are necessary, but he's getting the action nonetheless.
York has this way of forcing Lords to pause a little bit on their defensive side, which we're not used to seeing very frequently from Lords Esports. And when that happens, your rotations become pretty sloppy and not from anything that you've done necessarily. When you pause like that, just the flow of the game is taken away because constantly like a bit of autopilot kind of comes on sometimes defensively and you kind of trip over one another. Whenever that pause happens, it's quite kind of abrupt here. We've seen it a couple times from York against Lords. If that continues, I mean, that's really playing into the Spartans, what they're trying to establish here in this closeout game, potentially, as it got, if they don't win it here, another couple of chances to close out, so York certainly in the driver's seat.
God, Freaka has just been this nuisance still for Lords Esports when he's not trying to get that weird ceiling reset or the touch up field. He's going for boost and he's demoing. He's got a demo in this game. Duke has a flick in this game that reaches the top corner and racks off the bar twice in a row there. You hear the ding ding. And the goal is not done. Not quite yet. They're still going to move forward. Freaka, another demolition. He's just off the leash.
Soldier has to be careful in that moment. Did a great job, all things considered. Had to play it off the wall to kind of recontrol it, but now look as Lords was punching in. Looking close here. Jay floats one to the middle. Controlled well by Duke, though. And out to where Cressy's waiting for it. This will punch off the side wall as well. Freaka not able to get back to it either. Mixley gets a couple of touches, finally able to get it where Duke wasn't able to manage to get right back on it. And a flip reset to keep it alive in a perfect play and set up to Mixley.
Nasty work here. Jay went ground to air on the dribble and put enough confusion on the defense to let Mixley loose. Talked about Lords Esports and those leads early on, not necessarily constituting a win, but I'm sure they're still happy to have the lead nonetheless.
Really smiles on their faces. Certainly no lead is safe here in this series. It hasn't been, but this is the first time they've gotten it late and added to it as well. A 2-0 lead now. Mixley took no time after that last goal to get another one.
In no time at all, Mixley has been fantastic on the innovation, the creativity off these kickoffs, off these solo tries, but that one was just a shot that needed to be slotted. And Mixley is probably the most reliable player on this team to make the right play. The decision-making has been fantastic, so 2-goal lead, much better than just one in the case of Lords, because you know York Spartans are focused on that response.
No lead is safe. Even at 30 seconds left, that's when I start to feel a little bit more comfortable for Lords, but even still, maybe not so much, especially when this man has got the ball as well. Duke, flip reset! Oh, denied on the goals line here from Cressy. Still making it difficult, though, as a bit of awkwardness there from Lords after a great chance from York.
You know, the respect is earned there for Duke when all three players are trying to make the save on your flip reset shot. Surprisingly, the team goes unpunished. I mean, the clear ended up being good enough, and well, that clear certainly works as well. A long one down the other side of the field, giving Lords chance themselves to score, maybe a third one. But that one gets away from Cressy, so I think it's going to, the power will transition back into York's hands. Something they need in order to score. A couple goals. Soldier chipped on the ascent. It's not needed, though. The pass over to Frika is good.
Kind of underrated, this read here from Soldier, knowing that you have to get off that far off the wall where the ball was going. It's a good read and good patience to know and set it up in a perfect spot for Frika to step in. Perfectly timed. Into the box. Are we surprised? No, of course not. York Spartans are starting to gain a little bit of that momentum, that comeback effort that we've seen so many times. Duke right back on it, too. He's got Frika out for some help. Flips it high, but Jay was able to respond from the back wall. Frika right back in. This one will waterfall down. Soldier Bomb has evened it yet again for York.
Oh, man, Lords are doing everything they can to stay in this game. Jay had immaculate patience on the backboard, but just couldn't hold on for the air dribble. That's a really tough ball to sail across the seas of this Champions stage field. It just didn't go right. The defense broke down, and once again, York have come back in the late game.
It's got to be tough for Lords to now, at this point in time, muster a good feeling about where they are here in this game and in this series. That's a 3 now in a row leads that they've seen disappear. Can they change that storyline? How we've seen a couple of times. Here's Duke, never who you want to see, especially in late game antics. This one can be fought away. It's up high in the air. This chance for Lords will be tapped down for the good pass. Denied on the goal line. They can't get back to it as they scramble, and we'll have overtime instead.
The ball just taunting Lords Esports as it was stuck in the goal line, but now at any point the whole series, the championship berth could be earned by York Spartans green. It just takes a single goal. Freaking denied of the long air dribble to the net with that bump. Duke finding Soldier, lightning fast shot, ripped towards the net. This one's a backflip from Jay. They've been wonderful on the saves, but they will need more. You know York's not done.
No, of course not, and Duke is there, but Jay still on its U. This one will find its way to Frika from the sidewall in his own zone. Will set up Duke here to punch this even further. Off the corner it goes! It's low! It's in danger position, but Laura's able to dig it out. Oh, sigh of relief there.
Oh, man, yeah, they don't even get a chance to wipe the sweat off their palms. They've got to keep going. Crazy choice there from Frika. Nearly pull shots the ball into their own net towards their own teammate, but that's been the loose cannon of Frika, and more often than not, it's worked out well for them on that possession. They'll find nothing, though. Cressy lands on top of the ball. Jay to follow up with the air dribble. Fantastic dunk. Frika able to land on the backboard, but now it's to play from the ground. Soldier Bomb called to action instead. Cressy on the long rotation, able to get one touch to Jay. Jay with the backboard. Jay with the double that lands wide. That one could have gone had it been on target.
Oh, good poise here at midfield as well from Cressy to at least buy a little bit of time. So it's not just Jay left on an island. In fact, we'll take a shot, but Duke, good for it. Ran out of boost, had to use everything in the tank to try. Shot well off the mark there from Mixley. This one high up in the air, and Jay just needs to get it away and buy even more time. It seems like that's been a habit of theirs here in the defensive zone. Frika leaves it here. Soldier tried, but this one denied as well. Shielded wall there from Lords to keep it at bay.
Ooh, Mixley just doesn't have the boost to contest this from Duke, and they're removed off the stage. Duke off the ceiling. Not what the opposition wants. It was always Duke all along. Finishes the play and secures the championship for York Spartans green.
Again, Jay, that close with the ceiling challenge to try and deny it, but it was not to be. As York Spartans stand taller in Duke, obviously a big reason that they're able to move on. An incredible performance from York as a whole, and they hold off Lords yet again with another comeback win in that game as well.
Man, talk about the aura. I mean, Lords Esports players, they've got tags of RLCS Challenger, CRL Contender, Duke's in the lobby with bronze tournament winner, and he still comes out with the win. It was game one or two that they were fired up at the end of the game, and I'm like, hold on, keep an eye on this guy. This is gonna be worth something. And boy, was it worth dividends. The whole team relying on that player to make the final play, but not every play. I mean, that was a team effort from beginning to end. York Spartans showing off why they're the 1 seed in this tournament. BearLight, that Lords Esports, they've got fire, they've got spunk, but it wasn't enough.
Yeah, that's right. And they had a great season, all things considered. Again, in matches played through the regular seasons and through the playoffs, 5-3. So a very good season that you can build off of for sure. They showed up against Dayton Flyers in that first round. They showed up here against York. So the most you can do is just put in your full effort. They started games on time, and it's not like there was a ton of mistakes that really got to them that surrendered those, but they're still not going to feel good at the end of the day the way they did surrender those wins, which could have easily gone the other way. But you got to just brush your shoulders off and move on to the next one. And for York, you're dancing this time around as well. They're going to the championship to face the winner of Saginaw Valley, the number 2 seed, versus Widener is going on right now, the number 3 seed. So, of course, make sure that you follow along, and we'll see where they land here for the Mid-East, region of Division 4.
Yeah. Fantastic matchups from beginning to end. The top 4 once again showcasing why tuning into all these divisions that NECC offers is nothing short of worth it. Thank you all for joining us tonight. It's been myself, PyroJ, BearLight in the booth, Chippy making all things look beautiful on that producer role, and Ramen helping out with socials as well. A full team effort tonight, and that team is extended with our sponsors today as well. We mentioned BearLight, BYE, as well as Wenzel and Extron. Again, got to shout out the sponsors for making productions like these possible, and again, putting the spotlight on the players, the teams, the managers, everybody tonight. NECC has more playoff action throughout the week, so you definitely want to tune into that League of Legends tomorrow, followed by Overwatch 2 on Friday. So all your playoff esports action here for the fall semester is right here. So drop a follow if you haven't already, and make sure you stick around on the later nights. Thank you so much for tuning in. We'll see you next time. Good night.